Tonight's topic is souls. And I'm not talking soul man. You know, I'm not talking like that. And I'm not talking about the soles in your shoes. I'm talking souls like people think that are these little entities that are floating around inside your body or some shit.
Well, shit, I'm not prepared then.
And neither am I. Actually, I did a little back research on this just before the show, so I'm a little prepared. And this has always been a issue with me because people say, you know, if you ever watch like a show like South Park, they always make fun of redheads because they say they're soulless. Well, you know what? Everybody's soulless. There's no proof of souls. Anything that can't be measured in any way, shape, or form isn't real. It just isn't.
Oh, Packard, you have no soul.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment. And the thing is, though, there is supposedly an experiment out there that where they would put people on these gurneys or whatever. They would weigh them, and then when the people were made to lift the last moments, and then the body would supposedly become lighter by several ounces. Actually, they say that's 7 ounces. But I did some research into that, and there is the testing that they did was so fucked up that they could have made it look like anything had happened. Because also the fact is, bodily fluids leave the body at the moment of death, for one, and the way they did the testing was, like I said, was convoluted, so they didn't do it properly. And when they tried to repeat the tests, they did not get anywhere near the same results, and the body did not lose any mass. So existence of souls is pretty much disproven. What really burns me up about souls is that, I'll put this out there, souls, you know, if you're supposed to burn for eternity, the question is, do souls have nerve endings? If they don't have nerve endings, how can you burn forever? If you especially have no nerve endings inside a soul, and if they're just a floating entity, there's nothing there to have any physical reaction to anything. So the whole notion of burning forever is fucking pointless. Because if souls, let's say they did exist and they have no nerve endings, then if you can't feel anything, then the whole burning in hell thing is completely pointless. All right, we're going to start the time, and we're going to start the roundtable discussion now. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead, me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't you love it when you get volunteered?
Do you like being volunteered?
Well, Packard, like you said, souls are supposed to be energy,
right?
And energy is detectable. And so, if you can't detect the energy of a soul, then how do you know it's there?
Right.
I was going to just freelance this one. I was just going to be like, blah 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 blah. I don't believe in souls. Blah, blah, blah. I actually did a little bit of reading up on this one before tonight, and what I found interesting was, when a person dies, they stop breathing. Mm-hmm. And I found it interesting to learn that words in many cultures for soul or spirits are similar to words to those for wind or air.
Really? Now I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. So some anthropologists speculate that the idea of a soul or continuation of the self after death was created to try to understand what happens when people die. Mm-hmm. Also, humans, we are social animals, and we become very attached to one another, and we know that when we die, we grieve.
Yes.
And grieving is a very deep and painful emotion. Other animals have been observed to exhibit grieving like elephants. Sometimes they go to the elephant graveyard where like a lot of elephants have died, and they'll actually caress the bones, and they'll pick them up with their trunks and move them around, and they'll cry because they miss the dead elephants that they used to know.
Right.
So, it's a natural phenomenon, grieving. And so,
Now keep going.
I so souls and beliefs in the afterlife, be it heaven, hell, or nirvana, or reincarnation, etc. They're all constructs to help us thinking, feeling, and social animals deal with this emotion of grief.
All right. I actually I know what you're talking about there with the elephants, because I've actually seen that where the elephants actually they will pick up the bones of the elephant that has died, and they will run their trunks over the tusks and the head and wherever the bones were, and as a way of memorying. And
they have very powerful. Their trunks are very powerful noses, and they can smell the bones and know which elephant that was.
Yeah,
you know, and they actually go to the graveyards and cry over their dead fathers and mothers and friends and relatives and stuff, and it's amazing. It really is, because, you know, we all like, if you're an intelligent enough animal like humans are, like elephants are, like dolphins are,
right.
we know that, you know, once someone is gone, once our friend or our girlfriend or wife or whatever, once they're gone, that they're gone.
Yeah.
And we grieve for them, and it's a painful process. And so a lot of anthropologists have looked to ancient human history and said, all right, well, maybe religion or the belief in the afterlife or a soul is something that we developed to cope with that feeling of grief.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how comforting is it to think like, oh, okay, I know your mom passed away, but she's in a better place now.
Yeah, I hate when people say that. That just pisses me off.
I know, and you know, and it's like, well, you know, if she was in a better place, she'd still be alive.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
I would hang out with her right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, it's words of comfort to help with that emotion, and it's a construct. It's a religious construct.
Yeah, I've never found those words very comforting myself. Those kind of words, when people say that kind of shit, it always pisses me off. Especially if it's little kids or whatever. It's like, that doesn't even make any sense for me.
Right.
But anyway,
the secular community really struggles with what to say in those moments, though, because like the religious are always like, oh, it's okay, you know, they're either with Jesus or they're with Allah or they're with or they're going to be reincarnated into a better person now, and the secular community is like, well, guess what? They're fucking dead.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I like the way George Carlin put it, is when you die, your soul goes to a garage in Buffalo. Speaking of which, Crystal, we have about a minute and a half. I'm sorry, Joe. It kind of sucked up all the minutes there, but he did.
Sorry,
but he made some excellent points.
No,
ahead, Crystal.
he actually did. I actually enjoyed reading that, and apparently we really did actually cross-reference each other. I've seen a good bit of that in what Joe was speaking of, so I enjoyed what you said. To me, I think that a soul, or the existence of, or what your belief in, is just really a personal thing, and it is for me. I'm Christian, but I don't buy into the Christian everything, no more than you're atheist and you believe, I'll believe the same. It's a personal thing for me. I do believe that souls do exist. And I kind of subscribe to the theory that we're kind of, not that the soul's a separate thing, but that the body, the mind, the heart, the soul are as one. And that's my personal belief.
Where would the soul be?
I'm right or wrong, you know?
So, I got a question. Where does the soul live? I mean, is there a special organ that?
Where does air live?
The air lives, and the air's not alive for one. But the air is around us. Because
question. Why it doesn't matter to me. That's not a question that I find that I need to answer. I know that I do, and I don't have to prove it. It's just something that I believe in. It does not encroach upon anybody else's beliefs. Do you know what I'm saying? That's something that's just personal and private to me. Do I believe?
Sorry.
Is that the end of the discussion?
That was the end of the discussion. Yes, unfortunately.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because Crystal, I've actually talked to people, and they feel that the soul is an energy, and when a person dies, that energy leaves the matter of your body. You know what I mean? And so you can't create or destroy energy, you can't create or destroy matter, so the energy moves onto another plane. And that's how souls have been described to me by theists. I don't completely agree with it, and I don't, but that's just one way that it's been explained to me, and I think
heard that too.
that's interesting.